As an audio engineer, I don't use the word insane lightly, but this is the POCO F8 Ultra, and it's insane. It has a 2.1 speaker system co-developed with Bose, and yes, it's designed to look like a pair of jeans. From your side of the screen, this sounds like a gimmick, but I promise you, it's not. It's a breakthrough. At $729 or $679 with the early bird price, this thing punches way above its weight. But before we get to the speakers, we need to answer a critical question. Is the rest of this phone actually any good? Well, let's find out. First, the exclusive jeans colorway is hard to miss. It looks absolutely fantastic, unique, and stands out amongst the dull, drab, and minimalistic designs we see everywhere. Of course, it's not actually denim, it's a grippy, premium textured design that feels fantastic and cleans easily. I love it. It also feels great in the hand with a relatively thin build that hosts a 6.9-inch 12-bit 120Hz AMOLED display with a peak brightness of 3,500 nits, and it comes with 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage on the base tier, and 16GB of RAM and 512GB of storage on the upgraded tier. And it contains an astonishing 6,500 mAh battery that supports 100-watt fast wired charging and 50-watt wireless charging. This thing easily lasted me through 2 days, even with heavy camera use. Powering it is the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. This is a big deal because POCO usually uses last-gen chips to save money. Paired with Xiaomi's Hyper OS, the phone is incredibly fast and smooth. It's wild that this level of performance is now available in a budget-friendly phone. The F8 Ultra has a triple 50-megapixel camera system. POCO is a Xiaomi brand, and while there's no Leica logo here like on a Xiaomi flagship, the photos have a vibe that feels inspired by that partnership. The primary camera is solid with great detail and processing. The ultra-wide at 0.7x feels barely wider than the primary lens, and it's easily the weakest of the three. The 5x telephoto though, that lens is special. It produces incredible natural looking bokeh that makes everything look amazing. Almost every single wow shot I got from this phone came from the 5x lens, especially in Pro mode. Either it's a placebo and the Pro mode is no different than the standard camera, or the processing is so much better. It seems less processed with a fantastic vibe. Portrait mode is also excellent with incredibly accurate cutouts in most situations. Well, unless your subject is a white-haired monkey, which turns out to be its kryptonite. Look, I don't know if it's just that Bali is beautiful, but this camera was a delight to use. It helped me take some of my favorite photos ever, and that experience is more important than any spec sheet. Now, before we dive into the star of the show, that BOSE speaker, a quick segue to this video's sponsor. This is the SUUNTO Race 2, and if you're serious about your trading, this thing is incredible. First off, this 1.5-inch AMOLED display hits 2,000 nits. You can read all your stats even in direct sunlight. It has a premium build, a 49mm case, a slim 12.5mm profile, and SUUNTO's digital crown plus dual buttons make it easy to use even with sweaty hands or gloves. Battery life, 55 hours of dual band GPS training or 16 days of regular use. This thing is not gonna quit on you. For runners wanting the lightest setup, the Race 2 has an ultra light configuration for comfort on long sessions. Here's what sets it apart: free offline topographic maps with turn-by-turn navigation and climb guidance. No phone needed. Plus 115 plus sport modes, and the SUUNTO app gives you AI-powered training plans, recovery tracking, and real-time intensity zones. It's like having a coach on your wrist. The best part, for Black Friday, November 20th through December 1st, SUUNTO is offering up to 40% off plus a free $49 strap with the Race 2 or Vertical 2. The standard Race 2 starts at $499 and the titanium at $599 and are available on the SUUNTO US store or Amazon. And if you buy from the US store, add just $1 at checkout to get the free strap with Vertical, Race, or Race S. Check the links below. If you've been waiting to upgrade, now is the time. Thanks to SUUNTO for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now for the star of the show, the BOSE speaker system. Let's be clear about what this is and isn't. POCO calls this a subwoofer, but it won't shake your room like a home theater sub. What it is a dedicated speaker handling lower frequencies, and it does that job remarkably well. They claim it can produce frequencies down to 150 Hz, and that's probably where it's strongest. But I was able to get it to produce tones down to 33 Hz before I couldn't hear anything coming out of it at all. Most phone speakers can't even dream of producing those frequencies. In my testing comparisons, I got a it to produce about 85 decibels on a white noise test, which is markedly better than the 55 decibels I got on the Apple iPhone 17 Pro Max. To put that 85 decibels into perspective, that's about as loud as a busy restaurant or a vacuum cleaner, but from a phone. The iPhone 17 Pro Max peaked at about 55 decibels, which is about the volume of an everyday conversation. This thing is so loud I can leave it in another room while I work and still hear my podcast clearly. And it's not just about being loud and deep, it's about clarity. A 2.1 system divides that labor. The bass driver handles the lows, freeing the two stereo speakers to deliver clean, undistorted mids and highs. Everything has more space to breathe. Here's a quick comparison between the Apple iPhone 17 Pro Max and the POCO F8 Ultra speakers. Now, I know many in the audiophile scene do not view Bose as, well, audiophile, and actually, you're absolutely right. What they do bring is a ton of processing knowledge that can manipulate audio to sound surprisingly good on materials and hardware that really aren't on the highest end of the spectrum. This knowledge can be experienced through the sound settings, which let you choose between balance and dynamic. Dynamic opens up the sound a ton, making things sound shockingly wide and immersive, and even at high volumes from both left and right channels, so voices, snares, and other elements remain in the center as designed. They also integrated processing for the Fletcher-Munson curve. That's the phenomenon where your ears perceive bass and treble differently at different volumes. Because of this processing, the sound stays consistent and full whether you're listening quietly or cranking it up. And on top of that, they give you a 10-band EQ for fine tuning. That's more control than Bose gives you on their own flagship headphones and earbuds. I can't stress enough how well executed this speaker setup is. I think it would be beneficial for use on conference calls so you don't need to buy a conference speaker anymore. Awesome for using as a portable Bluetooth speaker that I hope everyone uses in an appropriate environment that respects others around them. You know. And for watching movies or playing games without needing earbuds or headphones all the time while still having a good, immersive, and full experience. This isn't a gimmick at all. It's a new standard, and I didn't know that I wanted this much on a smartphone until now. Whether this partnership with Bose continues beyond the F8 Ultra is to be determined, but I hope it does. The POCO F8 Ultra is a genuine surprise. This isn't the budget-focused, compromise-driven phone people might expect from the brand. It delivers on their promise of everything you need and nothing that you don't, but then adds something genuinely new and useful with that Bose speaker system. The speaker set a new benchmark for mobile audio. The telephoto lens is a joy to shoot with, and the performance is true flagship level. This is a phone that is more than the sum of its specs. It delivers a fit finish and experience that should cost hundreds of dollars more. It's not just a great phone for the price, it's a great phone, period. This video is made possible with a review sample provided by POCO. They did not sponsor this video, nor do they have editorial control or input. They cover travel and accommodations for 3 out of the 11 nights of my trip in Bali. I paid for the rest of the trip, including hotels, rides, food, etc. The only sponsor of this video is SUUNTO. And if you want to book the villa that I filmed this all in, they'll be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching This Is Tech Today. Until next time.